this is not going to be popular. We talk about boundaries in the church, about protecting ourselves. And I got to have boundaries because people are mean. I got to protect myself. That's not what Jesus did. Walked around for 3 years intentionally on this earth with dumb sheep who constantly misunderstood. And these are the people that were his friends, with dumb sheep who didn't truly understand what he was doing, watching all the things that he did, still not understanding till the very end. And I don't see a whole lot of Jesus saying, promoting of himself. I see a lot of times where Jesus was hiding himself away from the crowds and the throngs. He wasn't desiring to be placed on the only platform he was looking for on the earth was the platform of the cross. He wasn't saying, I have come so that you can serve me. He says, I have come not to be served, but to serve. And he was living a life as an example of what it looks like when you give your life in service to not you, but to him. Or not to me, but to him. And when that life is in service to him, when that relationship is right and understanding, and my needs are met by him, and my identity is met by him, and all my focus, my purpose is there, then I can begin to serve like he served. I believe in the American church, we're more concerned about the preservation of self than we are about the service of him. I get it. I know it's going through some of our minds. We're wrestling with some of this. We're wrestling with some of this maybe because we still like to hold on to the other stuff. And the boundaries we say we put in place to protect ourselves are actually the fences we build to keep our stuff in and Jesus out. What does it mean to serve one another in this place? It's a body of believers. What does it mean to give myself to him? I worry less about taking care of my family when he's got all of me, because they're already included in that. They're already included in that. Being a full servant in him is going to make me a better father. It's going to make me a better husband. I don't need to separate that out. It's all inclusive. I separate that out when I want to make excuses. And I'm not saying everybody. I'm just looking at where we are as a culture, and I'm just saying it's quite possible. It's quite possible. I'm not saying everybody. I'm just saying it's quite possible that sometimes what we do is make excuses of why we can't serve. And we use the very things that he's given us as a reason of why we can't go or do what he's called us to go and do. Not all the time, but these are just things that we can take a look at in our, and listen, you may be sitting there and you may be good. Maybe you burn the ships. That's awesome. Maybe some have still got a rowboat. Maybe there's just a just in case type of thing. Maybe there's, I'll do this, but I want to be recognized. It's a big one. That's a big one that especially, everybody can struggle with everything, but that's a big one, especially with leaders, especially with pastors, to be recognized by others, to seek a glory that comes from other pastors. This is where the comparison of churches comes from. Why? Because they're leading like Gentiles. They want to have the biggest kingdoms in the towns. They want to have the biggest churches. They want to be noticed. They want to be worshiped from the platform. for their gifts and their talents. It's foolish to say that we don't struggle with those things. That's why we constantly take up our cross, because we're crucifying this old flesh daily. The struggle with identity comes is when I look for it in other places instead of Him. The same with you. Are you content with not being noticed, yet being impactful for His kingdom? Or are there little caveats in there? I will do what you call me to do, but I want to be known as the missionary to Africa. Or I want to be known as the pastor of Morrison. Or I want to be known as this. Or I want to be known as this. Is it enough just to be found in Him? I say this a lot, and I mean it, and I want it to be a thing of my life. If revival comes in this place, is it okay that nobody knows my name? Or are we looking for revival with the benefits of being known and called upon to go and preach other places because of the glory? Or are we content for God to do something in the midst of us that's powerful, that touches the lives of people, that sees people saved, healed, and delivered, but never make charisma news? We shake our heads yes, and I'm shaking my head yes too, but that doesn't mean that there's not a temptation to fight with, to be recognized by your peers, to be recognized, to be known as the church. Jesus ran away from that kind of notoriety whenever He could. And He didn't stay long in places because of what they would do. Put Him up on the wrong type of platform. This is why I say, hey, listen, we got to go. Hey, man, but all these people are looking for you. I know, but we got to go. We got other places to preach. We've got to keep this thing going. It's not about a singular place right now. It's about the gospel getting out to the lost. He didn't go running right to Jerusalem and proclaim the gospel. He's bringing the gospel into these places. He's healing the sick. He's bringing deliverance. He's showing them who the Father is. He's doing all this types of thing. And they want to give Him a type of notoriety as a Messiah, to be exalted, to be a king, so they can kick the Romans out. But that's not what He was there for. He was there to bring reconciliation to the Father. And the only notoriety He knew He was ever going to receive on this earth at that time was His death on a cross. Then the resurrection. Where are we at in this? Are we looking to be noticed? Look how good I cleaned the toilet. I think my name should be on a plaque there. Nobody cleans that toilet like I do. You could eat off it. I trust you. Oh my goodness. Look how well I do this. Look how well I sing. Look how well I do. No. To be in leadership is to forsake those types of things and to understand that I'm going to become the least of all so that I can serve the most of all. Maybe without them ever knowing my name or knowing who did it.